it's steady focused. Conversations about mental health and moving forward. Come along and listen in. It's steady focused. Conversations about mental health and moving forward. Come along and listen in. Let's evolve.
Something that I've been thinking about is leadership. And I think that's one of your strong suits, being able to lead the team that you have, that you've grown up. So what do you think everyone could be a leader, or do you think it's a special thing? Do you think everyone should be a leader? And the leader, I mean, like, not just like lead by, hey, I'm going to do good, but like truly be
a vocal leader.
A vocal, like, follow me, we're going.
I think everybody can be, but we talk about the parenthood. I mean, maybe there's something that certain people go through as children or whatever that makes them a leader, but
okay.
I don't know. I think it's something, I think it is, some people are just born with it for sure. And me, I think a lot of time it comes from, I think I lead out of fear. I mean, well, which being in recovery, we learn that everything we do is fear-based, to some extent fear-based, but fear of not being in control, because if I'm letting someone else lead me, which granted you have to be a follower before you can be a leader. But,
okay.
But, I mean, that fear of, well, I'm putting my fate in someone else's hands. That means, in my mind, I'm giving someone else, like, I'm telling them, hey, I think that you're better than me. And I know that's kind of a weird, it might even be kind of a narcissistic type thought, but
okay.
That's kind of, I think at a young age, I just had to learn fight or flight, and I only do one way. Right. You know what I mean? And leading for me is just, I don't know, man. I don't know if I was born with it or.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sometimes it's a heavy responsibility to carry. It's a lot of time, especially now, like the business, when you got old and burn out, it's like, man, I don't want to lead. I want to stand back and watch for a little while, but with great privilege comes great responsibility. Yeah. Even when you don't want to lead, people are still watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that they're always looking at you before. So if you're standing back, I just want to stand back and watch, then what are they going to do?
Yes.
They're going to stand back and watch even more, because they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to lead.
I'm getting to the point in my career where I am more, I mean, I've been a leader for a while,
you are a leader in Husker.
Yeah, so it's been like
you might have thought that I look up to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. Now in my professional career, I'm running a team, and I'm responsible for the team. And part of that has been, in my professional career, I was a lot of times solo, or I was just reporting to someone. And so when I was doing things, and when I'm doing things, I was part of the team, and I was grateful to be part of the team. But I was the one doing the stuff, so it's like, hey, go get this done. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm more of a mentor, and so it over the last couple of years, year and a half, and I'm grateful for that. Now I am starting to get some gray hairs somewhere. I got red, but it's shifting so that I feel more, I'm a mentor now. And so my job more is not to be the starting quarterback or the starting defensive end, but put the light on that starting quarterback.
You're like the veteran QB.
There we go.
The guy who's, it's like on his last couple of years, and it's like, well, my job now is not to go out and win Super Bowls. It's to take this first round draft pick quarterback and teach him to be better.
Yes, right, exactly. That's where I am right now in my career, and I'm grateful for that, because I feel like this is something I've been, like, this is kind of like my
calling,
or my higher form is this. And we were talking about the years. I had to put in the years of in the fire to get to where people will understand, yeah, I've been there. I know what it's like. And I'm still here, and I will get and pick up a fucking shovel or put it in place.
No, and see, and I'm kind of on the opposite. Like of course,
right.
I'm one of those people that you could give me $1 million in a golden briefcase, and I would bitch about having to make a trip to the bank to put it in the bank. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I always find the negative, or I always look for the negative. But I'm in a position. I'm my own business. I do. I pretty much I do call my own shots. I do whatever I want, and
you're in charge. Yeah.
For the most, yeah.
Yeah. Do you handle the schedules, the workload, all that?
But I'm so passionless at what I do that it's like I can't be happy doing it. And even though I'm in a leadership role and I'm meant to be a leader, it's like I don't know. I'm not in the middle of I'm going through the fire right now, because I know maybe a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years that I'll be doing what hopefully what I was supposed to be doing. Am I meant to just do physical labor and construction? I mean,
no.
I mean, I don't think I think everybody's meant to do something that's inside here. And like for me, I guess like my goal when I started, like, I want to be bum, and like I feel like I've already done it, and so now I'm just kind of like, well, where's my next?
What's the next?
I made a great living. I do all that stuff, but that's not enough. You know what I mean? And it's not about money.
Right. It's not.
And so, but like I said, I'm just in a different, almost an opposite spot of where you are career wise, even though to the outside world and what everyone else models as success, like, oh man, you're living the dream. Yeah. It's like, in here, it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know that I have something more to give other than just gutter in somebody's house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, man. And I'll be honest, like, I've known you for a long time, and I've known
plus years.
I've known your passion. I've known your energy, but getting to know your depth it's surprised me, as someone who has the depth I see, I'm like, shit, Huff is.
Yeah, people never realize. They never realize
that dude is deep. Like, he's going there. And, even over the last couple of years, we've talked more about God and purpose and just all that. I'm like, and who knows? They may look at you. People may look at me the way I think maybe people look at you, like, oh, hey, there's this tattoo guy. He was in a band. He's loud. A lot of similarities between both of us. There's that side, the front man, the wild man, and then there's like, oh shit, like, this guy's deeply connected, and he's questioning things. He's full of love and humility, and also passion, and a quest for connection and deeper being. And so that's when you say some of that stuff, I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah, no, and I know that's one thing, like, because people only get, like what you said, they only get the version of you that you give them. And growing up, I was just, when you knew how I was. And people didn't think much past that. He's just a whatever. Yeah. And one of my problems that I have, connecting with other people is I assume that everybody is as deep as I am. And I'm like, they're not acting very deep. They're not. And I think, instead of, I guess it's kind of like projecting things on people. But
we teach people the way we want them to think about us and treat us.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I mean, and that's the I've always, even like as a young kid, I was just always, and my dad told me one time, you're too smart for your own good. And like, what is it? Yeah, you're too smart for your own good, and you're too smart to get something right the first time. Just because constantly overthinking and everything is it can't just be going to the store and getting something to eat or whatever. And it's I'm always, as the kids say, you're an extra. Yeah, talking about that. You're so extra.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay.
Oh man. Well, you were a big inspiration for. I'm pretty sure it was talking with you. What was it? A year and a half ago when I started working on the studio.
It was a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah, and then like just slowly working on it little by little. And now we're doing the thing, man.
I don't do it, and I'm definitely like, I know I have a cool office studio, whatever you want to call it, but like I'm jealous of how do you, because this is like solitude, not
Yeah.
like, that's one of the reasons why like I don't do much vocal stuff in my, just because I'm one of those, I have to be secluded.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm definitely like jealous of this thing.
It's cool to be out here. I'm going to pull up a couple of things that I had shared, and then you had some insight into it that impacted me. So I want to read this and just say whatever comes to your mind. So this is a quote from Stephen Pressfield, who wrote the book, The War of Art. Not the art war, the war of art.
Mm-hmm. I had that saved in my audios, and
that's actually a good one.
I have a bunch.
And he says, the critic hates most that which he would have created himself if he had the guts. And I was saying, it's easy to sit back and talk trash about others, but it's more difficult to look in the mirror and take ownership of our own actions.
Jealousy.
Mm.
I could do that better, and it's like, but you didn't.
Oh.
But no, and it's a lot of it. And I've even noticed with like when I started playing, started doing the synthesizer part of music, I was like, I was banging out all kinds, and like, but it's because I didn't let what other people think, because I never intended for it to be in public or anything like that. But that fear, it will like, and that's kind of one of the reasons. Just because even when I sit down now, it's like, well, this isn't cool enough, and it's like that constant talk of fear and
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is not good. This is not going to ever be as good as this or that.
Mm.
But that definitely, that's what stopped me from. I know a lot of people think that I'm just like rambunctious, overly confident, but dude, and I know that me and you are
yes.
There's magnified 1,000% the other direction of negativity and self-doubt before it ever gets to what you see or perceive as confidence. I probably gone through a ton of mental torture just to get to that. Well, I'm just going to do it because I have to. Like, there's something in me that says I have to do this.
Yeah, man. You nailed it. The jealousy, the fear, the judging ourselves and others. Man, one time.
But it's all based off of fear, and it's all have that scarcity mindset that you talk about. Like, they're getting what should be mine. But the thing is they went and did it or took it or whatever.
Right.
While you didn't, because you were afraid. We're so afraid of what the outside world is going to think of, and it's, man, those opinions, when your final day is here, those opinions and those things aren't going to matter. I just saw a thing on with scrolling through social media, whether, Facebook or wherever it was, Instagram. It was just Denzel Washington, something he wasn't going to the Oscars, and people, he's like, on my final day when God's judging me, the Oscars don't matter. None of that matters. It's what you do.
Man, I just had a flashback. There's a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while. His name's Dave Carroll. He's a great photographer. He was doing work for the Nighthawks, and then he started working at Hager. Jackie hired him to do stuff, and I was on the come up with photography. And he did this photo of a building one day, and I loved it. I was like, man, that's so good. And I was able to watch my thoughts. I went from, oh, that's a great photo, good job on Dave, to like almost like hating on him for that photo. And it was like, well, why not me? And I was like, I'm not going to like this picture. I'm not going to. And I was like, time out, dude. Look at what you're doing, man. This is just some guy who is friendly with me. I'm friendly with him. He's just doing his thing. He's not like anything other than a human being putting artwork out there, struggling as well. And I caught myself hating on him. And I was like, bro, instead of thinking that, why not celebrate Dave, give him his kudos for doing that, having the courage to just show up, and then be inspired from it, get off my ass, and go try to take a photo. That has stuck with me, that moment. And I've done it since, you know, like I've recognized that in myself. But anyway, you saying that.
Yeah, and on the same, in the same sense, it's like, but is that kind of jealousy or how, for just a generic word and put on it, is that part of the drive too? Does that help the drive that, that I'm going to outdo that person?
Yeah.
But I mean, because we all have to be driven at some
Right.
point. And yes, it gets to a point where it can be toxic and all that, but people need to be driven, and is that part of it? I mean, hey, I think I can do that. I think I can do that better, but you don't have to be jealous and start. Oh, that's dog shit. This is the ball. You never know.
Uh-huh.
But we still have those core thoughts that make us human, and like can like that, like you did. Can I reel it back in and stop myself before it turns into just being a hater or whatever people call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good.
But people still need drive. You've got to have something.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just not fun to admit, well, I'm driven by me being jealous of other people, other than I'm driven just because of passion or whatever. I can say that I'm driven a lot out of jealousy or competitiveness or whatever you want, scarcity mindset, however you want to call it.
Okay.
That is part of what drives me. I'm not proud to say that, but that's a reality. I mean, I do a lot of stuff out of love, but I also do a lot of stuff out of envy, jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get.
For lack of me finding a good one-word description, but.
Okay, so I'm hearing what I'm going to take from that is, it's okay. I'm just like, who are we to, like we're not stamping everyone, but be honest, jealousy is going to be there, whatever you coin that, true competitive nature. But I don't have to, because there's multiple ways to do it. There's, man, Huff's out there putting out all kinds of good music. Fuck him. I'm going to go and eat a cake and just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. Or, damn, Huff's out there putting in all that music. Fuck. Well, I want to go and put out some music. I'm going to go make music. And I'm not going to eat fucking cake and just lay in my bed and my own shit and talk trash about Huff all night long. Like, what am I going to do with it? Okay, cool. I noticed it. Now what?
And I don't think it's unhealthy to use it a little bit.
I agree.
Or a little bit as a stepping stone or a nudge to get you going somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of making music, oh yeah, fuck him. I'm going to say, oh yeah, you hear that this is way better. But if it, man, I hope this is people enjoy this as much as they seem to enjoy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not let that, I just say hatred. I mean, let that hatred be the driving force. Just let it be a little bit of inspiration. You are not, and hatred's a strong word, but I mean, I'm bipolar. That's how I am.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. That was that, and then that we're talking about hatred. That also goes along with something I've thought about is people being afraid to. Well, we talked about fear, but people being afraid to do things because people are going to think negatively of me. It is going to happen. I mean, I just talked about a good friend of mine.
You're not doing anything if you're not disappointing some people. You're doing nothing. That's part of it. You are going to disappoint people I disappoint people every single day. I make mistakes every single day, but you have to make mistakes to have successes. So you have to. It's just part of the cogs in the wheel. But the thing is, do you let that? Because I used to let that negative part, it's what controlled me 24 hours a day. I mean, of course I had to go through a lot of stuff for, alcoholism and sobriety and all that stuff, but I mean, letting that negative, be the constant cog that just spins and spins and spins. I mean, it will consume you.
What keeps you from going back to alcohol?
I just don't want it.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is I've lived an entire lifetime as an alcoholic. Most people don't even make it out of there, and the fact that I get to basically start over, it's like I just don't even. Honestly, I don't even think about it anymore unless I'm talking about recovery or something. I don't think about alcohol. I mean, I walk in the store and I walk by the the beer aisle with it. I mean, it's like walking by like jugs of milk. And the thing is there's not like nobody there. I'm not on probation. I'm not on parole. There's nobody that says, "Oh, you're not allowed to drink. You're not." Thing is, I could drink. I could right now. I could leave right here. I could go to the store and get whatever I wanted. But the miracle is I don't want it, and I don't know. That's the unexplainable thing about recovery is when the switch goes off and the desire and the obsession to drink goes away. Like there's just some things that you just can't explain, and I can't explain why I don't want it. I mean, yeah, now granted, sometimes in the summertime or certain occasions, I said and I think, man, I see people, that might be, and just for one time, and it's like, but I know me and like the one time never appealed to me before, so why would one time appeal to me now? You know what I mean? Because it's not going to be one time; it's going to be 1,000,000 times if I can make it to 1,000,000.
Or for that, you may not get out on the next.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be 0 or 1,000,000. That's
so. What having gone through, I mean, I think, I believe, just to some degree, we all have addictions to different things at different levels. But if there is someone who is deeply struggling with an addiction that is they've recognized and they feel what is it? They feel powerless over it. What do you say to them? They're like, I can't do it. I just can't. And who the fuck are you? You have no idea what it's like. What do you hear when you say something like that?
And I only know one way. Because I've tried several ways, but I only know one way that's worked for me. But and that's what an old sponsor used to say to me is, step number one is I'm powerless over alcohol. I'm powerless over food. I'm powerless over whatever it is. Okay, well, so when you're powerless, what's your problem? A lack of power. Well, self-control. I mean, self-control and being driven by me. If you admit I'm powerless, I lack the power. Where are you? Okay, well, what do you need? Well, I need power. Well, where's a power source? Do you get your power from other people? I only know my power from a higher power. You know what I mean? That's the only. So I didn't do it by myself, even though yes, it was me. I mean, I had help from other people, sponsors, and going to meetings and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I went and laid down in bed by myself. Just me. But there was also a higher power with me. And that was a lot easier to take some of the load on my shoulders and give it up, put it on the shoulders of my higher power, and it just lessened the load. And some people can laugh about it or just, and might be silly to you, but guess what? I'm sitting here right now talking because I finally got over that. Oh, that's too silly. That's believing in an invincible man, or what people call him, the sky Jesus, or whatever they call it. Hey, whatever. You can make that doorknob your higher power. It doesn't matter. Anything that can lighten the load from in between your ears. I mean, that's the only thing that worked for me because I tried white knuckling it. I tried quitting. That was the only thing that worked for me. And not that I'm super active in the recovery community today, but 1,000,000,000% is the only way that and there's some people that can I can't.
Oh, but 1,000,000,000% like I'm not doing that at all.
1,000,000,000% is the recovery community, and a 12-step program is 1,000,000,000% that what saved my life. I wasn't able to do it on my own. And like I said, there's some people out there that may be able to just put it down, walk away, and never. Not me. I don't have the power. I don't possess it. That's why I had to look elsewhere to get it. But like I said, and that's the thing is people who are often perceived as strong-minded or strong-willed, they're actually in here, and I consider myself one of those people, very weak at certain times and at certain things. You know what I mean? And that for me was one of them. And anything I get into, I'm addicted. I mean, how many keyboards do I have? How many shoes do I have? Whatever I'm into, I suffer from moorism. Whatever I have, I want more. And me, I have to have something else, a higher power, that kind of helps me keep that in check.
Do you do meditation? Is that something you do at all? Or
Not really. I mean, yeah, I've done it, and it's hard for me. Because, well, I haven't tried since I've been on medication, but
okay.
you normally trying to, like, I have to have the TV on it and I have to fall asleep. I can't, normally, if I'm trying to sit and focus internally, my mind, like ping pong balls, I can't, it's hard for me to focus and just, where my therapist has me do these breathing techniques. And it does work sometimes, but for me, I have a hard time staying focused, so I'm not that good at meditating. And I'm not against it. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just not that good. But that's probably because it's one of those things that I haven't practiced of. Generally discovered that anything that I kind of shy away from, it's because I either didn't put in enough work to do it, or I just put in the reps. You know what I mean? Because meditation is part of, they talk about in recovery and all that stuff.
You do books,
Do
or
you meditate?
do I meditate? I have at times, and I'm not practicing right now with it, but I have found success for myself in breathing. I don't think that's a full meditation, but I actually have on my daily calendar, it goes off throughout the day and it dings and it says breathe. So I do that that was something I was like, this is bullshit. What do you mean breathe? Get real. But I looked into it, and it's about, it helps the front of our brain think better. It gives it oxygen right in here. And there's real, like, what do I want to say? I don't know. Not psychological, like physiological changes that happen within us when we take a breath.
Yes.
So I work towards that.
It's like a reset. It's almost like a reset to your senses. It's kind of like, I was going through all those, like, recently with panic attack or anxiety attacks, and one of the things was like splashing cold water in your face, or your bare feet touching it like sends a shock to your central nervous system. But also, like, just stopping and breathing kind of helps stop. Reset.
Yes, I do a grounding technique. You probably through, but
I had shoes that are grounding shoes.
Okay.
I mean, I got to say with cool shoes.
Yeah. I was so it's like, I think this is what's called grounding technique, but it's like we're 3, 4, 5 things I can see. I see a yucca tree. I see a brown cat. What are things I can touch? Or I touch this table. I can feel my skin and go through all the senses. And when a month ago, when we were on vacation, Kingston and I were sitting on the paddle boat. We were just sitting there, the two of us, and I asked him, "What are you thinking about?" And then I paused, and I was like, "Hold on." And he told me something about football. But in the moment, I thought, wow, I'm kind of encouraging him to think. So how about I approach this a different way? And then so I told him, hey, let's do this. What are 3 things you see? And then we went through that whole thing together. And it's one of the strongest memories I have of the vacation, of going through that. So it was just kind of like, how often am I encouraging the kids to think? Like, why? Like, why? How about no thinking and just being?
Yes, I was saying, he was sitting there not being in the moment, probably thinking,
Exactly.
worrying about what's going to happen, football fear and all that. And it's like, no, what are you doing right now?
Yeah, and I was encouraged, like, hey, let's go further away from this place. Where are you at? Let's go. Let's time travel. Let's go to that thing. I was like, no, let's be here. What is it? And he had never heard of that before, but it was a cool moment.
And we were talking about kids, and like every generation, like I know when we were in high school, our parents and the people, just like we are now, they're soft, they're this, they're weirdos. Which I think we're a little more magnified in our high school or childhood year as to kids now. I mean, when we have lawnmowers that mow the yard for you, we can clone cats, and all this stuff. So it's a lot different comparison. But just imagine, when we're talking about childhood stuff, just imagine if our parents had access to all the tools that we have access to now, with social media and people that
Yep.
just imagine if they had the tools like we have to be able to, I can just get on YouTube and watch how to be a parent or whatever.
Right. Learn anything.
Yeah. And, so it's like, how would we still be the same people that we turned out to be? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. If my mom had better tools, how would I be now? I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago, my mom started talking about, Simeon, I didn't have any mentors when I was growing up. She had the baby. Let me see if I can say this right. She was 14, 15, 16, those years. So it was like, she was pregnant at 14, married at 15, and then widowed at 16. Like boom, boom, boom. All riding the rough.
That's a cycle of life in 3 years.
Yeah. And then she's, and then she's just out to fend for herself with this daughter. And it's a hard next 20 years. So then, but she talked about like Simeon, and even before that, she's told me like, Simeon, I did not have mentors in my life to guide me and tell me which way to go. I had to figure this out on my own, and I made a lot of mistakes. So what would my life be like? And I'm glad she can think that, she is thinking about me, but I'm glad she's thinking about herself, and just at this stage in her life, reflecting on her life. And so she said, what would my life be like if I had a mentor in my life? So, right. What would my life be like if my mom had different tools? Mm-hmm. Right. So that's good you were thinking that.
Yeah, no, and it's, but I'm also, it's kind of circled back to what we were talking about, is that I think we all kind of, we end up what we're supposed to end up, or how we were, because if you think you have control of it, I mean, obviously, do I have control? Like, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to make sure I brush my teeth every morning. I'm going to make sure I do that. Yes, I have control over that, but do I have control of how my life turns out? Because the way my life turns out, the way your life turns out, it depends a lot on your external circumstances, and we got zero control over that. You know what I mean? So it's, and maybe, I don't know, that's just something you can't explain. Like, hey, had this one little thing happen, would your life have turned out completely different? Maybe, but maybe not, because you think that, I used to, how much I love New York City, and
yeah,
and I don't do it as much anymore now that I'm older, but especially in my like 20s and early 30s, I would always have like, man, what if I would have been able to if I would have been able to been born and grow up in a place like that with all the opportunity, with all of this, all of that, and it's like, and I said, then was like, but I'm sitting there putting myself like if I would have grown up in most circumstances, I'd be the exact same person I am now, just living in cooler circumstances. It's like, no, probably would have been a lot more susceptible to, people who grew up in New York City. They have that world at their fingertips. They have access to. So it's like, I wouldn't have turned out the same way and wouldn't have been able to just be this same person just with a different circumstance. I would have, my life would look nothing like what it looks like now at all. Like, probably even the way I comb my hair or shave my face, like, it would not even look the same.
Yep.
But it's easy to, and I used to be that a lot, but it's, I don't know, just a weird random thing that.
Right. This is ours. Yeah, I know. I've thought about that too.
Yeah, if our circumstances were different, we wouldn't even think the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we have to go through those experiences to be the people that we are.
Yeah. It was making me think about, a couple of weeks ago when we were out, a lot of things happened with our car. I lost my keys and I fell in the river, and it was a lot. And then I started the day, oh man, I'm down. It's been a bad day. I'm going to screw up the vacation with family. I was down on myself. But then the series of events that, because of what happened, the people that I ended up meeting throughout the day, it was miraculous, and one of the highlight moments was riding in a car for an hour one way and an hour back with a woman who I'm talking with her, and her mind is, she's so positive. She's so looking at the opportunities, or gratitude is where she's talking about. And then she says, yeah, I've spent the last 4 years taking care of my son who at 14 got a cold, ended up getting brain damage, brain dead. And I was by his side for 4 years and he just died. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she's just grateful for her life. And so I asked her, like, what is it? Why do you think you have this mindset? Because you could very easily be like, fuck everything. You know, the world is horrible. But she said, oh, there's no doubt about it. It's God. If it were not for him, I wouldn't be able to be here. Literally, she would have been in it. You know, could you imagine? Like, I'm burying my son. So it got me thinking, like, wow. We were talking about, like, what my plan was. Where's my fucking keys? Give me my keys so I can go back and eat a burrito with my family. God, please help me. God, help me find the keys. And he was like, oh, my son, I got something better for you. I'm going to let you meet Sharon and go through her story. And then you can have some perspective on your life, Simeon. It's like, damn. So and I'm getting chills while she's talking to me. And then she tells me, you know what? I almost called in today, but I had a feeling there was something I was supposed to do today. And now I know what it is. It's this conversation. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's like that purpose we talk about.
Yes.
Like she had to go through that situation with her son. And she was probably a positive person, but I'm just saying, like, you have to go through that to get to that bad, to get to that good. You know, one of the things that used to get sent to me all the time is, especially early in recovery, if you're going to ask God to move mountains, be prepared to wake up next to a shovel.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Say that again.
If you ask God to move mountains, be prepared to wake up next to a shovel. You know, it's like you can't just tell God, you know, God, higher power, whatever. You can't say, God, make me more patient. Then you're more patient. No, he's going to give you opportunities to start practicing patience. And that's one of the things for me with parenting that I, you know, that lingers in my mind is like, you know, you want to be more this way. Well, here's your opportunity to be more that way. But of course, you know, we learn, and you know, it takes a little time. But yeah, you're not gonna say, you know what, I think, therefore I am. You know what I mean? I'm more patient now. Okay, well, go prove it. You're going to be given everybody's given plenty of opportunities on a daily basis to be patient and on. And I'm just using patience as, you guys asked for me, one of the things I struggle with the most is patience.
Wow. There it is, man. It's a great reminder. I want this. Okay.
What are you willing to do?
What am I willing to do? Right. It goes back to what we were talking about, my other friend. I want to grow my career. I want to do this. It's going to take time. It's and man, some of the things that I'm working towards that there may be things that I'm sowing seeds, trying to get things that I may never even see come up. It may be Kingston or Lane or Cadence that see those plants crop up. Maybe Kathy was planting some seeds when she was a kid that she's never even going to see. Maybe she had a vision for what she wanted her life to be, but for whatever reason she couldn't. But here's you, who is able to grew up with those tools. Like, oh, I can see things different. Well, and man, that's what it's about. Like, okay, Ryan, now you carry it. You carry us to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, seeds only grow with time. That's good. You know, and it almost kind of reverts kind of what we were talking about at the beginning. You know, talking about with my career, you know, at 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm smart enough to do. I shouldn't have to listen to what this person tells me to do. I should be my own boss. Could you imagine had I been handed that gift at 20 years old, how I would have been able to handle all the things that I can handle now because of that time between there and then, or then and now.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing. And that's, because kids are thinking, when we used to coach, staying after practice and talk for 45 minutes. Them kids aren't listening. All they're thinking about is the ice cream they're going to eat and how many video games they're going to get to play when they. So I know all this stuff was probably said to me at some point in my, childhood, young manhood, whatever. And no. And I still have a hard time now thinking past a week from now. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, some people might consider that kind of living in the moment, but it's kind of a weird, like I'm always worrying about the future. But, but I can't, and I don't heed a lot of advice or wisdom that I get because I'm like, I get so caught up in me. But I get so caught up in now, that instant gratification. But it's hard to sit and tell someone, hey, this is how it's going to be. You should be this way. And knowing that when I was told the same thing, I was like, you don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, when you talk about instant gratification, what comes to my mind is this. When I look at your story, I think the strength you have to say no to the alcohol, so it's like, if my perspective is,
that's not my strength. That's
okay.
It's a higher power.
The higher power stream, but okay. And
the minute that I begin to try to attempt to completely take over control of my life is when I'm going to fail. For me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I have that. Now, does that mean I'm extremely religious or no? A higher powered spirituality is completely different than now. They can intertwine very good together, but I constantly have to remind myself that I am not in control. And then that's the thing with people, because people talk to me about, I have people reach out fairly often about struggling with alcohol, that, and I'm not doing it. I'm just a conduit of, you know what I mean, and tools that other people gave me. You know what I mean? Now maybe through time I've developed my own filter of how I see things and how I do things, but it's not me. It was a gift that was given to me. You know what I mean?
Right. And then what do we do with it when we get the gift?
And that's another struggle is, that constant, man, I should be doing something more positive, something more impactful. I mean, that's what I struggle with right now, because it's like, I go to work and I do this and I make money. So what? You know what I mean? How am I bettering anybody? And maybe I am, but those negative thoughts that we talk about.
Well, if nothing else, you're directly impacting your family.
Yeah.
They're day in and day out with you, and they're benefiting from what they see from you. Ethan is the one that I see you the most with, and I know he is absolutely a better person from your guidance. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things, that's one of the things that I think everybody probably thinks that they'll never be a good enough parent. I mean, I think that's everybody's who is a parent in some form, whether it be step or whatever, is that I'm just not doing this good enough. But it's like, well, maybe you are. Just give yourself a little bit of credit. But for people like us, it's hard to give ourselves credit.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Conduit. You use that word, and that's something that I'm conduit. There's conduit. Just be the conduit. Be the conduit.
Yeah, don't be the conductor, be the conduit. Because there's only one conductor,
Okay.
Each person that, their higher power.
Okay. Okay.
That's the conductor, you're the conduit.
Oh.
Let the electricity flow.
Yeah.
Energy, however you want to call it.
Right on.
And that I know that's when my life gets the most chaotic, is when I try to play conductor.
Mhm.
And even being a parent, when I try to be the main conductor, no, I need to be a conduit of us in general.
Cool. All right, let's get after it, dude.
All right, man.
It's steady focused. Conversations about mental health and moving forward. Come along and listen in. It's steady focused. Conversations about mental health and moving forward. Come along and listen in. Let's evolve.